I went back to my hometown for my best friend's wedding, running ragged the entire time. Between being the best man, greeting guests, and helping with the setup, I didn't have a single second to look at my phone. The moment I finally sat down that evening to shovel some food in my mouth, my phone blew up. It was a female colleague from my team. I answered, only to hear her screeching on the other end. "Where the hell are you?" I kept my temper in check. "I'm on leave. I'm out of town." She exploded. "I don't care where you are. Can you just abandon your work? Aren't you supposed to be on call 24/7? I hung up immediately and turned off my phone. Some people, if you give them an inch, they'll think they own your entire world. "Caleb, over here. Give me a hand." My best friend, Mike Ross, was waving frantically. He was sharp in a tailored suit, but his forehead was slick with sweat. Without a word, I handed the red envelopes I was holding to a relative managing the gift registry and briskly walked over. Today was his big day. I was his best man, the brother he'd grown up with since we were in diapers. Naturally, I was on the front lines. The venue was mostly set, but guests were trickling in, and we were shorthanded. 1 minute, I was directing traffic. The next, I was hauling cases of champagne, then getting pulled aside to greet important elders with the groom. By noon, my legs felt like they didn't belong to me anymore. My phone vibrated in my pocket several times. I fished it out for a glance. A barrage of messages in the work Slack channel and a missed call from Karen Higgins. I silenced it and shoved it back into my pocket. When I requested time off, I made it crystal clear in the department group chat. Family emergency, out for 3 days, handover complete. Manager Davies had approved it. Karen was in that chat. She knew. Calling me now was just about her usual petty nonsense. I took a deep breath, shook off the work stress, plastered a smile on my face, and dissolved back into the wedding festivities. It wasn't until 7 in the evening, when the reception officially started, that I finally caught a break and sat down at the wedding party table. I hadn't even warmed the seat or taken a bite of the appetizers when my phone started buzzing like a manic hornet in my pocket. I checked it. Karen Higgins again. I impatiently swiped to ignore, but she was relentless, calling back instantly. The people at my table started staring, so I offered an apologetic smile and stepped out into the hallway. "Hello." I kept my voice low, tried to mask the anger. "Caleb Sterling, where the hell did you die? Why aren't you answering?" Karen's shrill voice felt like an ice pick to my eardrum. It was that entitled, superior tone, as if I had committed a capital felony. My temple throbbed. "I'm on leave. I'm at a wedding. I told you this before I left. I don't care where you are. You think a wedding makes you special? You think you can just dump your work?" Her voice spiked into hysterical rage. "Where are the files for the Orion project? The handover doc doesn't say anything. Are you trying to sabotage me?" I actually laughed out of sheer disbelief. I had built the core code and architecture for that project from scratch. As a team member, Karen did nothing but nag about deadlines and steal credit in front of leadership. Before I left, I spent an entire afternoon organizing every scrap of data, paths, passwords, protocols, into a 15-page manual specifically so someone like her couldn't miss it. And now she was interrogating me. "Karen," my voice went cold. "The documentation is on the company's shared drive. Folder name, project, or IN_final. The password is the department abbreviation plus 4/8. If you can't find that, I suggest you go back to elementary school." What is that attitude? She sounded like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. "You're just a grunt worker. Who do you think you are? Let me tell you, Caleb, if this project fails, it's all on you. You're supposed to be on standby 24/7. That is basic professional etiquette." Professional etiquette? In my world, respecting someone's personal time is also etiquette. I looked back into the banquet hall. Mike and his bride were toasting tables, beaming with happiness. The laughter of friends and family, the clinking of glasses. That was the world I was supposed to be in. Not here, 1,000 miles away, listening to a man-child scream at me. Click. I hung up. The screen lit up instantly. Karen again. My eyes went cold. I held down the power button. Slide to power off. I swiped without hesitation. Silence. Finally, I returned to my seat just as Mike walked over, glass in hand, followed by his bride, Lisa, who was glowing with happiness. "Caleb, where'd you go? You look like someone kicked your puppy." Mike plunked down next to me, draping an arm over my shoulder. "Come on, it's my wedding day. You're my brother. You need a drink." I looked at him, and the annoyance evaporated. "Nothing. Just a work call. It's handled." I raised my glass and stood up. "Mike, Lisa, I won't give a long speech. I just wish you a lifetime of happiness, growing old together. My brother." Mike clinked his glass hard against mine and downed it. I drained my glass too. The sharp burn of the alcohol washed away the last of my irritation. I enjoyed the rest of the night thoroughly. Drinking with old friends, listening to the elders tell stories. Watch him might get tipsy while Lisa held him up with a mix of love and amusement. This was life, full of warmth and humanity. As for Karen Higgins and her Project Orion, I had already banished them from my mind. The next day, I helped Mike see off some relatives, and in the afternoon, I caught up with a few high school buddies. We were scattered across the country now, so we had endless things to catch up on. My phone remained off. I knew Karen's personality too well. Turning it on would invite a bombardment. I wasn't going to let that toxicity ruin my vacation or dampen Mike's wedding mood. On the third day, my leave ended, and I boarded the Amtrak back to the city. Only as the train pulled into the familiar urban sprawl did I turn my phone back on. The moment it booted up, the device went into a seizure of notifications. Hundreds of WhatsApp messages, dozens of missed calls, mostly from Karen and Manager Davies, with a few from other colleagues. I opened WhatsApp. Karen's chat had a bright red 99+ badge. I clicked it. A wave of profanity and hysterical accusations hit me. Caleb, you dare turn off your phone? You are dead. Just you wait. I'll make sure you never work in this industry again. Loser. Trash. You're an irresponsible waste of space. Interspersed were voice notes from Manager Davies. I played one. His voice was fake polite, but laced with panic. Caleb, why is your phone off? Call back immediately. Urgent issue with the project. Karen is. Look, just call back. Even CEO Vance is involved. CEO Vance? Elena Vance, the founder and president of Novatech Solutions, an ice-cold business goddess who built a small startup into an industry unicorn in 5 years. She rarely got involved in specific project execution unless it was a catastrophe. I scrolled through the messages, my expression flat. Then I saw text from Lily, the receptionist, sent yesterday afternoon. Caleb, run. Karen is smashing things in the office, screaming that you're fired. Manager Davies can't protect her anymore. I heard the deal with Ventura Corp is dead. CEO Vance is furious. Caleb, where are you? They can't find you. They're going crazy. Ventura Corp? I raised an eyebrow. The sole client for Project Orion, and the company's most critical contract this year, worth over $100 million. It seemed things were more interesting than I thought. I closed the app without replying. As I exited the train station, a black Rolls-Royce Phantom glided silently to the curb in front of me. The rear door opened, and an elderly man in a perfectly tailored tuxedo, hair silver but eyes sharp, bowed to me. Welcome back, young master. I nodded, slid into the car, and let the soft leather seat absorb my exhaustion. Arthur, let's go home. Yes, sir. The car moved smoothly into the city traffic. I watched the neon lights streak by, my gaze growing cold. That little software company was supposed to be my playground for experiencing a normal life. Now, it seemed playtime was over. Meanwhile, at Novatech Solutions' CEO's office, Elena Vance stood before the massive floor-to-ceiling window, overlooking the city skyline. She wore a sharp black business suit that accentuated her perfect silhouette, her dark hair pulled back to reveal a smooth forehead and a refined profile. But right now, her usually frosty face was clouded with anger. Two people stood in her office, afraid to breathe. One was marketing manager Davies, the other was Karen Higgins. Karen's eyes were swollen, her face streaked with tears. Gone was the arrogance she had when screaming at me. She looked like a frightened quail. So, Elena turned slowly, her voice quiet but piercing. You're telling me that because one junior employee took a vacation and turned off his phone, our $100 million partnership with Ventura Corp is dead? Davies broke into a cold sweat. Ms. Vance, this is primarily Caleb's fault. He has zero responsibility. He knew the project was at a critical juncture and still dared to take leave and cut contact. Such an employee must be severely disciplined, fired immediately. He was quick to wash his hands of it. Karen shrieked in agreement. Yes, it's his fault. He hid the critical data. It wasn't in the handover docs. I've been searching for 2 days without sleep. He did it on purpose. He wants to sabotage the company. Hit it. Elena's lips curled into a cold sneer. Karen, you're the secondary lead on this project. Tell me, where did he hide the data? I don't know. Karen's eyes darted around. He probably encrypted it or kept it on his personal laptop. Personal laptop? Elena looked at her like she was a joke. Company policy explicitly forbids storing project data on personal devices. Are you accusing him of a compliance violation? Yes, he definitely violated policy. Karen grasped at the straw. Fine. Elena nodded and picked up her desk phone. Legal, come my office. Also, notify IT to locate Caleb Sterling's workstation and prepare for a data audit. Davies and Karen went pale. They knew better than anyone that Caleb was rigidly, almost annoyingly precise. He would never make a rookie mistake like that. The missing data was just an excuse for Karen's incompetence and laziness. Once IT got involved, the lie would collapse. Ms. Vance, no need for that trouble. Davy stammered. The priority is contacting Caleb to get the data and appease Ventura Corp. Elena stared him down. I gave you 2 days. Did you reach him? Silence. Mr. King for Ventura, just call me personally. Elena's voice dropped to absolute zero. He said our technical point of contact couldn't even find the basic data API. He seriously questions our professionalism. He gave us a final 12 hours. If we don't have a competent person there by 9 a.m. tomorrow to fix it, the contract is void and Novatech goes on Ventura's permanent blacklist. Permanent blacklist? The words weighed on Davies and Karen like a death sentence. Incompetent. Elena finally snapped. 2 department managers, held hostage by 1 junior employee. Is there no one else in the entire team who can work besides this Caleb? Davies looked like a corpse. Karen was trembling. She finally realized the magnitude of the disaster she caused. She was used to ordering Caleb around, dumping her work on him. She thought this time would be the same, scream at him, and he'd crawl back to fix it. She never imagined the quiet, hard-working man would dare to turn off his phone. How dare he? Just then, Elena's personal cell phone rang. She glanced at the screen, an unknown local number. She intended to ignore it, but on impulse, she answered. Hello, is this Ms. Vance? A calm, unhurried male voice came through the line. Elena paused. The voice was familiar. This is she. Who is this? This is Caleb Sterling. Caleb Sterling. The 3 people in the office had vastly different reactions. Karen went from shock to manic joy, then to spite. She rushed to the desk, screaming at the speakerphone. Caleb, you finally decided to call. You are dead. You. Shut up. Elena's eyes flashed with fury as she silenced her. Karen flinched, choking back her words. Davies exhaled a long breath, clutching at hope. Ms. Vance, quick, make him hand over the data. Elena ignored them. She forced herself to calm down, her voice returning to its professional chill. Caleb, where are you right now? Where I am doesn't matter. My voice was flat, discussing the weather. I heard the company is in a bit of trouble. This detached attitude deepened the furrow in Elena's brow. The Project Orion interface has failed. Ventura Corp is furious, and the deal is on the edge. She summarized concisely. Oh, a single, indifferent syllable came from the phone. No panic, no guilt. Elena felt like she punched cotton. She took a deep breath. I need you to come to the office immediately and fix this. Apologies, Ms. Vance? I chuckled lightly. 1, my leave isn't over. 2, the handover document I submitted contains every piece of data and every operational guide needed. If a project secondary lead can't understand a simple manual, shouldn't we be questioning her professional capability? My voice wasn't loud, but through the speaker, it filled the office. Karen turned the color of a beet. Liar, your documentation was unclear. She tried one last desperate defense. Is that so? I countered. Share drive. Folder project Orion _final. Subfolder 3, data interface and protocol v3. 0 foot. PDF document, page 7, paragraph 2, bold red text. If that counts as unclear, then I have nothing to say. My words were a slap across her face. She froze. I had recited the path and content perfectly. She hadn't even read the document she claimed was too long and messy. She just habitually blamed me. Elena's gaze cut into Karen like a knife. Karen's knees gave out. She nearly collapsed. Caleb. Elena's voice held a trace of exhaustion and, a plea? I am asking you. Only you can fix this now. Come back and name your terms. To save the company, she had to drop the CEO persona. Silence stretched on the line. Just when Elena thought he would agree, I said something that stopped her heart. Ms. Vance, do you know why I work at your company? Elena blinked. What do you mean? Because I thought the company name was decent and the office environment wasn't bad. My voice held a playful edge. So, 2 months ago, I had my family trust acquire it. Now, as the sole shareholder of Novatech Solutions, I have a question for you. How does someone who violates employee leave, deflects blame, and can't even read core technical documentation end up as a project manager? Ms. Vance, as CEO, aren't you being a bit negligent? Boom. My words detonated in the quiet office. Davy's jaw dropped. Karen looked like she was hallucinating. Acquired? He bought the company. Caleb, the quiet guy in cheap clothes driving a beat-up sedan, the guy she bullied daily, is the new owner. Impossible. A hallucination. Elena froze. Her hand, holding the phone, trembled. Her icy mask cracked. Shocked out, disbelief. She suddenly remembered. 2 months ago, the original shareholders did transfer their equity to a mysterious fund called Sterling Capital at a 30% premium. But the buyer kept a low profile, sending only lawyers. She assumed it was some Wall Street shark. She never imagined the new boss was right under her nose, working as a junior programmer. Are you telling the truth? Elena's voice shook. Arthur. I didn't answer her directly. I just called out a name. A second later, a dignified, elderly voice came through the phone, carrying undeniable authority. Ms. Vance, this is Arthur Sterling, CEO of Sterling Capital. On behalf of the board, I am formally notifying you. Effective immediately, Manager Davies and Karen Higgins are relieved of all duties at Novatech. We are initiating legal proceedings to recover all losses caused by their negligence. Furthermore, please have all files ready. In 30 minutes, Mr. Caleb Sterling will arrive to formally take over. Mr. Sterling. Elena whispered the name, her mind blank. The call ended, but Arthur's commanding voice echoed in the room. Sterling Capital. To the average person, it might be unknown, but to someone at Elena's level, it was thunder in the ears. A true hidden oligarchy, deep pockets, global reach. Novatech was dust compared to their portfolio. Caleb, was he heir to Sterling Capital? He came to work here not to survive, but to experience life. Absurd. It was absurd. Elena felt her worldview collapsing. She looked at Karen, collapsed on the floor, and Davies, face gray as ash, with a sliver of pity. Did these two idiots have any idea what kind of god they had offended? No. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Karen shook her head frantically, snot and tears streaming down her face. He's lying. He's just a broke loser. He can't be the boss. Ms. Vance, don't believe him. Davies clung to a shred of sanity. Ms. Vance, is this a prank? Caleb. He orders the cheapest takeout. Yes, he was low-key. So low-key, everyone thought he was poor. But now it made sense. His technical skills were god-tier. He solved problems effortlessly. He never engaged in office politics. He ignored unfairness not because he was weak, but because he didn't care. Like a dragon ignoring the ants. Elena's heart sank. She knew it wasn't a prank. Take them out. She waved wearily to security. No, Ms. Vance. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Karen broke down, crawling to grab Elena's leg. Give me a chance. I'll apologize to Caleb. No, to Mr. Sterling. I'll kneel. She finally realized she wasn't just losing a job. She was losing her career. Sterling Capital could blacklist her from the industry with a snap of their fingers. Davies knelt too, weeping. Ms. Vance, for my years of service, please. Elena turned away coldly. Security dragged them out. Silence returned. Elena poured a glass of wine and downed it, coughing as it burned her throat. Her pride, her company. To him, it was just a toy he picked up, and she had let rot fester inside it. Half an hour later, a knock. Elena straightened her jacket, taking a deep breath to restore her CEO mask. Come in. The door opened. He walked in. Same t-shirt, jeans, sneakers. But the aura was different. His eyes weren't mild anymore. They were deep, sharp, terrifyingly calm. Behind him was Arthur and a team of lawyers and bodyguards in black suits. The room temperature seemed to drop. Caleb walked straight to the executive desk. He didn't sit in the guest chair. He sat in her chair. He leaned back, fingers interlaced, looking at her calmly. Ms. Vance, he spoke, his voice quiet but commanding. Now report to me. What exactly is wrong with my company? Elena's nails dug into her palms. Humiliation, indignation, shock, but mostly resignation. Winner takes all. She took a breath and handed over a file. Mr. Sterling, this is the full dossier on Project Orion and the crisis report. I didn't take it. I just glanced at it. I don't want to read a report. My fingers tapped a rhythm on the desk. I want to hear it from you. It was a display of dominance. He wanted her to verbally admit her failure. Elena's cheeks burned. Yes. She lowered her eyes and began. From the project background to the negligence, to Ventura's ultimatum. I stayed silent the whole time. My silence was heavier than any shout. When she finished, I spoke. Done. Yes. So, $100 million project, and the core tech team has exactly one competent worker and a bunch of parasites. I smirked. Ms. Vance, you are quite the competent CEO. Elena paled, but didn't argue. Arthur. Sir, notify HR. Starting tomorrow, complete performance and technical audit of all departments. Fire everyone who is incompetent or coasting. Everyone. Yes, sir. Arthur moved immediately. Ruthless. Efficient. Elena shivered. He wasn't a naive, rich kid. As for Ventura Corp, I picked up the desk phone. Tech department. This is Caleb. Transfer Project Orion's root privileges to my terminal. And give me a video conference with Ventura. Now, the director on the other end stammered. Why is Mr. Sterling? The screen lit up. A middle-aged man with gold-rimmed glasses appeared. Mr. King, Ventura's CTO. What is Novatech playing at? Call me now. It's too late. King shouted. I ignored him and started typing. Code cascaded down the screen. Mr. King, the API you need is re-encapsulated. Permissions open. New protocol in your inbox in 3 minutes. My voice was calm. King froze, watching the code flow. His anger turned to shock. Also, your legacy architecture has 3 fatal logic flaws. High concurrency would crash at 30% of time. I fixed them and optimized the algorithm. Efficiency is up 50%. I hit enter. Done. Decide if you want to continue the contract. I cut the feed. 5 minutes. The room was dead silent. Elena stared at me, wide-eyed. She knew he was good, but this good? He fixed vulnerabilities Ventura's experts missed in months? Just then, her phone rang. Caller ID. Ventura Corp, Mr. King. Elena looked at the phone, flustered. She looked at me. Answer it, I said. She put on speaker. Ms. Vance. Who was that wizard? That god. King's voice was trembling with excitement. He's our. Elena stumbled. Who I'm doesn't matter, I interjected. Mr. King, can we talk business? Yes, absolutely. King sounded desperate. Mr. Sterling, you are a genius. Those 3 bugs. We looked for 6 months. You fixed them in minutes. I apologize for our rudeness. No need, I said flatly. Does the contract stand? It stands. We are increasing the investment. Another 50% budget, on the condition that you oversee the tech support. Elena stopped breathing. An extra $50 million. Just like that. Talk the details with Ms. Vance, I said, losing interest. He's the client, but remember, we are choosing him now. Don't sell us cheap. I stood up. Yes, Mr. Sterling. Elena bowed instinctively, then blushed. Wait, Mr. Sterling, King shouted. Are you from that Sterling family? I glanced at Arthur. Arthur stepped forward. Mr. King, some things are better left unsaid. Watch your tongue. The threat was clear. King gasped. Understood. I spoke out of turn. I walked out. Ms. Vance, I paused at the door. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., I don't want to see a single useless person in this building. Clean my office. I left. Elena stood alone in the wreckage of her career, staring at the empty chair. The company she built was his toy, and the new owner was terrifyingly attractive. The next day, I didn't go in. Arthur sent a team to purge the company. I sat in a manor in the Hamptons, drinking tea. Sir, 37 employees fired, including 7 managers. Arthur reported. Karen Davies? Legal sent letters demanding $2 million in damages. They are blacklisted industry-wide. Good. And Elena? She worked all night on a restructuring plan. She's stabilizing the company. She's capable. Capable but blind. I sip my tea. Keep her. A toy needs a keeper. Also, send a gift to Chairman Victor Thorne of Ventura. Victor Thorne? Yes. Tell him it's a greeting from a junior for his son. Arthur was confused but obeyed. He didn't know that in my past life, Victor's son, Julian Thorne, harassed Elena relentlessly. This time, I changed the game. That afternoon, Arthur called. Sir, trouble. Julian Thorne is at Novatech. He's blocking the lobby. Oh, he's demanding to see you. He says, you stole his woman. I laughed. Prepare the car. Let's go see who gave him the guts. Novatech lobby. 20 burly men in black suits surrounded the entrance. Staff cowered. In the center sat a young man in a flashy white suit, smoking a cigar. Julian Thorne. Elena stood opposite him, furious. Julian, get out. Get out. Julian sneered. If I didn't want you, this company would be dead. Now it belongs to some Caleb guy? Is he your sugar daddy? He stood up, trying to touch her chin. Elena recoiled. Show some respect. Respect? I chased you for months, and you ignored me. This Caleb shows up, and you spread your legs? Get him out here. If he doesn't give me an explanation, he's leaving in a body bag. His bodyguard stepped forward. Suddenly, the roar of engines. A convoy of black SUVs, led by a Rolls-Royce, screeched to a halt. Arthur stepped out, opening my door. I walked out, flanked by 100 elite security operatives. They moved like a military unit, instantly surrounding Julian's crew. Julian's 20 thugs looked like amateurs. You're Julian? I walked up, hands in pockets. You're Caleb? Who do you think you are? I looked past him at his head of security. You're Bruno, from Blackstone Security? The big man froze. How do you know me? I know you work the docks. Docks owned by Sterling and Co. I smiled coldly. Bruno, who gave you the balls to bring Sterling dogs to bite a Sterling master? Boom. Bruno's brain short-circuited. Sterling. Master. He turned white and dropped to his knees. Mr. Sterling. I didn't know. I deserve to die. He started slapping his own face. Julian was stunned. Bruno, stand up. What are you doing? Bruno kept kneeling. Looks like your dog is smarter than you, I said. Arthur stepped forward and slapped Julian across the face. Smack. You are not worthy to speak his name. You hit me? My dad is Victor Thorne. Julian screamed. Victor Thorne? I laughed. Call him. Tell him to get his ass over here. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The lobby was deathly quiet. Julian, clutching his face, screamed into his phone. Dad, I'm being attacked. At Novatech. Bring everyone. Kill him. His name is Caleb. On the other end, Victor Thorne was golfing. He exploded in rage and rushed over. I sat in a chair, waiting. Elena whispered, Victor is powerful. This might be too much. Too much. I looked at her. I want everyone to see what happens when they touch what's mine. Elena blushed and looked away. 8 Range Rovers roared up. Victor Thorne stormed in with a mob. Who hit my son? Him. Julian pointed at me. Victor looked. He saw me. Then he saw the old man in the tuxedo behind me. His anger vanished. His pupils shrank. He started shaking. AR. Arthur. Victor's voice trembled. He knew Arthur, the right hand of the Sterling Empire. Arthur looked at him. Victor, you have quite the temper. Thump. Victor's legs gave out. He fell to his knees, harder than Bruno. Arthur. I didn't know. Mercy. Julian watched his invincible father kneel like a dog. Dad, what are you doing? Shut up. Kneel. Victor slapped his son and forced him down. Apologized to Mr. Sterling. He realized his son had provoked a titan. The Zhao family was done. Apologize. I looked at the kneeling Julian. Too easy. I stood up. You said I'd leave in a body bag? Julian trembled. I'll give you a chance. Crawl out of here. Across the street. And crawl back. You. Julian looked up, eyes burning with shame. Crawl? In public? No. I glanced at Arthur. Arthur kicked Victor. Your son is deaf. Ah. Victor screamed, then started hitting Julian. Crawl. Do you want to kill us all? Crawl. Beaten and terrified, Julian finally broke. Under the gaze of the entire building, the arrogance shattered. He got on all fours and began to crawl toward the door. The Novatech employees watched in awe. Their new boss was terrifying. Not violent, but absolute. He crushed souls. I sat back down. Victor, let's talk compensation. Yes. Anything. My company stopped for 2 hours. My staff was scared. And my woman, I glanced at Elena, was upset. Elena froze, heart pounding. My woman? What is your offer? Name your price. I don't want money. I held up 2 fingers. 1, the land in the South District. Deed on my desk tomorrow. Victor gasped. That was worth billions. 2, I looked at Elena, a 10-year strategic partnership with Novatech. Exclusive tech rights. 90/10 split. Us 90, you 10. What? Victor cried out. Robbery. Problem. My voice dropped. No. Agreed. Victor nodded frantically. He knew I was funneling his money to her. Good. Arthur, get them out. I walked to the elevator. Passing Elena, I whispered, tonight. My office. I want coffee made by your hands. My voice was a whisper, but it sent a jolt of electricity through Elena. She flushed scarlet. She wanted to retort, but looking into my eyes, she couldn't. She watched the elevator doors close. The lobby cleared. Victor and his crew fled. Bruno was dragged away. Julian, covered in dirt, was kicked into a car by his father. The show was over. The employees looked at the top floor with reverence. Who was this man? Elena touched her hot face. Humiliation, anger, and a strange thrill. He was dominant, terrifying, and protective. Ms. Vance, Lily asked. I'm fine. Triple overtime pay for everyone today. Elena went to the top floor. Her territory, now his. She saw the empty chair. I want coffee made by your hands. She bit her lip, took off her jacket, and rolled up her sleeves. She had never made coffee for anyone. But today, for the man who overturned her world, she started grinding beans. Her heart was already melting. Night fell. I returned to the office after handling Sterling business. Only the top floor was lit. I walked in. The aroma of coffee filled the air. Elena was at the machine, white shirt, focused, soft light, gentle curves. She turned, flustered. You're here. Your coffee. I put the cup down. I walked her back against the window. What? What do you want? She panicked. Behind her, the city lights twinkled. I solve a big problem for you today. How do you thank me? Victor paid. That's for the company. I leaned in. I want a personal thank you. I don't have money. I don't want money. I lifted her chin. I want you. I kissed her. She widened her eyes, tried to push, but I held her tight. Her resistance faded. Her hands grabbed my shirt. The room got hot. A long night began. Morning sunlight hit the bed. Elena woke up, sore and confused. She sat up, pulling the sheet over herself. I was gone. A set of clothes lay on a nightstand with a note. Went to a wedding reception. Handled the company. Breakfast on the table. His handwriting was bold. She saw the breakfast and felt a warmth. She walked out. The cold coffee, the land deed, the unfair contract. He really gave her $1 billion gift. She knew she was tied to him now. 3 days later, in the countryside. Might try to give me money. Caleb, thank you. Keep it. Buy Lisa something nice. My phone rang. Elena, when are you coming back? Her voice held a hidden longing. Miss me? Shut up. There's paperwork. Back this afternoon. Mike grinned. Girlfriend? Soon. Back at the office, Elena was working. I hug her from behind. How's the company? Good. Cash is flowing. Good. Here. She handed me an invite. Sterling Capital Annual Gala. I smiled. I know. It's for you. I'm going to tell the world that you, Elena Vance, are my woman. 1 week later, the Sterling Gala, the most exclusive event in the country. Elena walked in on my arm, wearing a silver gown, stunning everyone. Isn't that Elena Vance? Who's the guy? Whispers. Victor Thorne was there, looking haggard. He bowed low. Mr. Sterling. People were shocked. Victor Thorne bowing? I ignored him and walked to the center. Arthur took the mic. Welcome. I would like to introduce the sole heir of Sterling Capital, Mr. Caleb Sterling. Boom. The room exploded. The mysterious heir. I took the mic, holding Elena's hand. She was trembling. I looked at the crowd. From today on, Novatech is our key partner. And Elena Vance is not just the CEO. She is the only woman I, Caleb Sterling, recognize. Elena looked at me, tears in her eyes. I kissed her forehead. So don't get any ideas? You can't afford to offend her. Silence, then thunderous applause. Elena kissed me back. From a harassed wedding guest to the Emperor of Commerce. The play had just begun, and the woman beside me would be the queen. Because in this world, some people are untouchable. Like me, and like her. Story complete.